let's take you straight down to the second phase or the third phase now on the program, where we'll be looking at how we manage stress in our workplace. Before we'll be joining the chairman, Sanu, Lagos State University, Comrade Lawan, but let's quickly link up with Mrs. Wonderful Ezra Oderinde, who is a clinical psychologist, to quickly walk us through how to manage stress in work environment, looking at the current economic challenges. Good morning, Mrs. Oderinde. I'm glad to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. Am I audible enough?
If Mrs. Oderinde is audible enough. Okay, let's walk through now. Help us. Nigerians are facing so many issues currently, from the fuel subsidy removal that actually gave birth to harsh economic policies. And people are saying those that are in the working class cadre, they are not finding it easy, as people are not able to manage the home front. And when they come to their workplace, they try to transcend or transmit the frustration from the home front and bring it to the workplace. How do we manage all this so that we can have a healthy working environment?
All right, thank you very much. Like you said, stress is a normal physical and emotional response to a perceived threat, and it can be sometimes beneficial. So there are several stressors that can actually make us to become unproductive at some point in time, and these factors are what we call stressors, those things that cause stress and challenges our ability to cope and adapt. So in managing these stressors, first of all, I'll look at what some common stressors that employees can actually experience during this economic downturn. One is uncertainty. It's many persons are really uncertain about their work and uncertain about their employment. You can look at the scenario that played out in few months ago when there was a strike action. The Nigerian Labour Congress has been clamoring on increase in salaries and all that. So, but some persons, even in private sector, are uncertain about the employment. Will they really get a higher pay? Will if there is a change in the salary structure, will their employers be able to pay them? Is their employment insured and all that? So there's so much uncertainty in the atmosphere. Sometimes there's also pressure of providing for their families because there's there's an increase in prices of goods. So some persons are even uncertain and are pressured on how am I going to provide for my families and all that. Some persons are also wondering if there could be company policies that will change, and these policies may change not in their favor this time. So these are some stressors that people are faced with at workplace. Some persons also are frustrated, and the motivation is also very much reduced at this point. So these are some stressors that persons face in their workplaces. And so for employees to really work on these stressors, they need to identify when these persons are becoming stressed. They need to identify when these persons are experiencing burnout. And this can be identified in several ways. Having employed someone to work, the person should have been able to be productive at some point. So if the employers have started noticing some changes, then they can talk about management of those stressors. And those changes are numerous. Changes like a person becoming late to work, or absenteeism, or even mood changes, someone beginning to have issues at work with colleagues, performance reduction, person's productivity is beginning to reduce, on a regular basis, and nothing is done about it. In so many of such changes, when they're identified, employers need to, look for how to work on that. So I'm still going to talk about, yeah,
All
thank
right,
you.
now quickly help us out now. What strategies can employers put in place to support their employees, their mental health, without significant financial investment? What strategies can they put in place?
Oh, yeah. It is said that a hungry man is an angry man. And what can make someone hungry is when there is no money or no food on the table. So, but at the same time, employers can also help employees to can also put up strategies to help employees, even without doing some significant financial changes, such as encouraging them to speak up, encouraging open conversation, so that because when employees are encouraged to speak up, possibly quarterly or annually or even monthly, speak up on areas that they are hurting, speak up on areas that they think their employers need to make some adjustments. That can also help. When employers also encourage employees to, prioritize their mental health. As much as people are told, go for checkup, go for this physical examination, if employers also encourage employees to prioritize their mental health, such that the employers know the signs. So if an individual says, this is how I feel anxious, I feel depressed, and these employers are familiar with these signs, the employees, they'll be comfortable to even say, oh, I have this and that issue, I may not be able to be productive. So employers also should make help employees to prioritize self-care. No one can take care of one as much as that person takes care of himself. So they should be encouraged to practice self care and wellness, like the exercise and the rest of them. So when this is done, employers also create mental health friendly work environment. So when this is done, it helps the employees to know that apart from just giving us some financial benefits, there are other areas psychologically that our employees care for us. There are other areas that our employees can be there for us. So they will actually be able to withstand some tension at work.
But there's this notion from employers to their employees that some are lazy, they don't like working. If we are saying self-care is very important, someone might just wake up one morning and say, I'm not coming to work because I'm having a slight headache. There are companies that won't take that because they want you to probably produce a medical report and something like that. Don't you think some employers or employees will be leveraging on this to excuse themselves from official duty?
Yeah, of course, I know that. And that's why one of the reasons I earlier mentioned about identifying burnout signs. If employers are familiar with symptoms of mental health issues, if they are familiar with and also create mental health awareness programs, and they are familiar with these things, they will understand when an employee is making excuses, and there's also a parameter for defining if or for assessing if an employee or someone who is saying I have this and that, there's also a way to identify, yes, is what he's saying, is it actually true or not? So if employers also set up people in at work who will understand these things, so that when an employee comes to an employer and says, I can't come to work or because I have this and that, yes, there are several things they do. They can engage them. So from a series of information they get, those mental health experts will be able to decipher if this is true or not. That's why in many companies you see at least a mental health professional as part of the as part of the workforce. So that's key, so they don't take advantage of it.